We were just talking, one of the greatest athletes we've ever had, an American named Babe Zaharias. Babe grew up in poverty in Beaumont, Texas. She quickly became an athletic Renaissance woman. Even before she was a teenager, she knew that she wanted to be the greatest athlete that ever lived. As a child, she hit 5 home runs in a single baseball game and was nicknamed Babe after Babe Ruth. It was a name that she carried for the rest of her life. In high school, Babe competed in every sport that was offered. She bowled an average of 200, came close to breaking world records in swimming, and won all city and all state awards in basketball. She went on to play for the Golden Cyclones basketball team. She became an All-American 3 years in a row and scored 100 points in a single game. That's not bad. I don't hear that too often, other than Wilt the Stilt, right? And that was because everyone was sick on the Knicks or whatever, except for the small players. And he just stood there all night, and he scored 100. That's a lot of points. She pitched exhibition games for men's and major league teams and was an all-star softball player. At the 1932 Los Angeles Olympics, Babe set world records in the hurdles, javelin throw, and high jump. She won 2 gold medals and 1 silver. After the Olympics, Babe announced that she was entering the National Golf Tournament for women. She had only played 10 rounds of golf in her entire life. How's that possible? I don't know, Gary. If she wins, I'm not going to see. If she wins this tournament, how did she do? When she tried to enter another golf tournament, she was told, "We really don't need any truck drivers' daughters," but she never let go of that dream. She practiced until her hands were bloodied and blistered and would drive as many as 1,000 balls a day. Babe's perseverance paid off, and she quickly started to win international recognition. In 1953, she was diagnosed with cancer and underwent surgery. The doctors said she would never play professional golf again. There was no chance. She had absolutely no way of doing it. On her hospital bed, she prayed, "Please, God, please let me play golf again." Her prayers were answered. A year after her surgery, Babe won the Women's U.S. Open by a record of 12 strokes. Wow. I still have to find out how she did in the first tournament after she only played 10 rounds of golf. How did she do in that tournament? She won. You got to be kidding. That's got to be the greatest record of all, Gary, right? She won it. Over the course of her golf career, she won 10 major championships, 82 pro and amateur golf tournaments, and 17 tournaments in a row. Well, that is great, Annika. We were talking about that before, because Babe is known as this incredible athlete and a great golfer, but that's a record that anybody would like to have. She helped found the LPGA and became the first woman to play against men in a PGA Tour event. Babe was voted Female Athlete of the Year 6 times by the Associated Press and has been ranked as one of the 10 best golfers of all time by Bobby Jones. Babe passed away from cancer at just 45 years old. Great woman. When she died, she was still ranked #1 in the world at golf. Golf tournaments have raised millions of dollars to fight cancer in honor and her honor, and today countless, many golf courses and trophies bear her incredible name. Babe Zaharias is one of the greatest women athletes of all time and did more than anyone else in her generation to promote women's golf. She just spent all of her time doing that. Her towering legacy will shine forever in the history of American athletics. These incredible athletes, they are incredible. And these two I know, and they are in a special, very special class, have all inspired our nation and shaped one of the most challenging, precise, and difficult sports in the world. And that's true. I play golf with a lot of people. I'll play with the best football players in the world. They can't play. I'll play with the best baseball players, hockey players. I play with everybody. And, you know, very rarely do you meet anybody that can even play, Gary. It's an amazing thing. The best in the world. You meet these guys, you see them on television, they're great, and then they top a drive and they shank another shot, and you say they can't play. It's a tough game, right? It's a tough game.
My name is W.L. Pate. I'm president of the Babe Zaharias Foundation. And standing here with my president, who I supported, one of the greatest golfers of all time, Gary Player, and of course, our wonderful lady, Annika. I kind of feel like George Gobel one night when he was on The Tonight Show said, "Do you ever feel like the world's a tuxedo and you're a brown pair of shoes?" Now, somebody will have to tell the younger people who George Gobel was. But I can't tell you what a thrill that it is to be here. My good friend Brian Babbitt and I are classmates and grew up together, and he and Randy Weber, I know, worked really hard on this, as well as my good friend and golfer Giles Kibbe, who's with the Houston Astros. I know they worked really hard to make all this come together. To be here and realize how all of this came together, I sort of feel like Forrest Gump. I was in the Army. I didn't get the Medal of Honor, but I did get to meet the president. For those of you who didn't see that movie. But I am so proud to be here because I know how devoted Babe was to being the greatest athlete, not just female, but athlete. When she won the U.S. Open in 1954 by 12 shots, she was playing with a colostomy bag. Now, think about that. People don't even go out in public with that. Babe won that championship. And I'm not related to Babe. It sounds like I'm talking about my grandmother, but I'm not related to her at all. I'm just so in awe of an individual who could do so much at 5'7" and 120 pounds. In addition to playing golf, of which we talked about, she had the world record in the javelin. And I think just, here's a Annika, you're 5'7"-ish? Okay. But think about that. Here's what she did. And I want to thank the people that started our foundation. It's a volunteer foundation. My father, Colonel W.L. Pate, and Ben Rogers started the foundation over 50 years ago just to promote the legacy of the world's greatest female athlete that grew up in Beaumont, Texas. And we built a museum around the memorabilia, and we funded it with private funds. And we recently renovated it, so I'd invite y'all, when you drive through Beaumont on Interstate 10, town of 120,000, to stop. To my knowledge, it's the only standalone museum for a female athlete in the world. Now, do keep in mind, we know where Annika's family grew up. Well, it wouldn't be surprising to know that Babe's family was from Norway, so it ought to tell you that there are a lot of great golfers coming out of that area, to say the least. But when you think about what Babe did to make the world a better place. When she was born, women couldn't even vote. By the time she was 21, if you could read or had a radio, you knew who Babe Didrikson was. Wonder Girl. That's what they called her. Now, that was 1932. Superman didn't come around till 1938, and Wonder Woman didn't come around till 1949. So if they want to make a movie of Babe's life and Gal Gadot wants to go back and do Wonder Girl, we'd certainly entertain that as well. But again, I want to thank the president. I want to thank our Babe Foundation board members, George Grimes, who is Babe's nephew. As I told the president, I said, George and I have a lot in common with Babe. We both play right-handed, but that was it. We also have other board members, Richard Price, his lovely wife, Kathy, my significant other, Shireen, and my daughter, Suzanne, and two young Caden and Kellen Kelso that are here with us as well. But Mr. President, thank you. It is such a thrill to literally get to meet these individuals, much less stand on the same stage. And I know Babe, who would walk into a tournament and say, Babe's here. Who's playing for second? And the rest really was history. But God bless America, because no place but the United States of America could somebody be born like Babe and rise to the heights she reached anywhere else. And you need to thank God that you live here. And as a retired Army colonel, it gets to me every time I think of the sacrifices that people have made so that we could be here. Thank you, Mr. President. God bless you, and God bless America.